Hi, I'm the Online Guitar Guy, and on this video I'm going to teach you how to play Cryin by Aerosmith. But before we get started, let's tune our guitars first. 6th string E. 5th string A. 4th string D. 3rd string G. 2nd string B. 1st string E. Alright, now in the beginning of this song, you're going to start by playing a B flat chord, which you'll play with your first finger on the 1st fret of the A string, your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, and your 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the G string. And from that chord, you move up to a C power chord, which is just the same exact fingering 2 frets up, starting from the A string. Then you'll go to an F power chord, which is up a set of strings on the 1st fret, starting from the E string. Then you'll go up another 2 frets up to the G chord on the 3rd fret, starting on the E string. So that whole thing is going to sound like this. Now the 4th time you play, you're going to play the same chords, but just go back to the B chord at the end there, so that'll sound like this. Okay, now the first chord you're going to play when you get into the verse of the song is going to be an A chord, and you're going to play that by putting your first finger on the D string on the 2nd fret, your 2nd finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger on the B string of the 2nd fret. Now there's a few different ways you could play this chord. You could also have your first finger holding down the first two strings and your second finger holding down the B string. Or you can also use your last three fingers. It all just depends on which way is most comfortable for you. Now the next chord to play here is going to be an E chord, and the way you're going to play that is by putting your second finger on the second fret of the A string, your third finger on the second fret of the D string, and your first finger on the first fret of the G string. And that'll sound like this. Alright, now, if you know me and you know my videos, you know that this next chord will be one of the toughest chords to play if you're first learning how to play the guitar, but this is an F sharp bar chord. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your first finger holding down all the strings on the second fret. You're going to have your second finger on the G string on the third fret. You have your third finger on the A string on the fourth fret, and your fourth finger on the D string on the fourth fret. It's a little bit of a tough chord, but on the electric guitar, believe me, it's a lot easier to play on an electric guitar. Next chord is another little tricky chord here. This is going to be a C sharp minor bar chord, and the way you're going to play that is by barring your first finger from the A string to the first E string on the fourth fret, not the top string, not including the top string there. And you're going to put your second finger on the B string on the fifth fret, your third finger on the D string on the sixth fret, and your fourth finger on the G string on the sixth fret. And that's going to sound like this. Okay, next chord here is a little bit of an easier chord. This is going to be a regular D chord, and the way you're going to play that is just by putting your first finger on the second fret of the G string, your second finger on the second fret of the E string, and your third finger on the third fret of the B string. Now after in the part of the song playing these chords, after playing the D chord, you go back to the A chord, which I showed you how to play in the beginning. And then from there you're going to go to an E chord, and I showed you the E chord before also. That's the second finger on the second fret of the A string, third finger on the second fret of the D string, and your first finger on the first fret of the G string. Okay, now what you might want to do is put this video on pause for a second and write down the chords that I just showed you, because this next part I'm going to show you here, this style of strumming, is going to be a little bit tricky. So you might want to remember how to, practice how to play the chords first, and then continue watching this video to learn the strumming. Okay, so in the strumming part of this song, you can have this style that's called arpeggio, which when playing this song, and you're going to start with each chord based on, say, if it's an E chord, you'll start by playing, starting from the E string, and you go 3 strings down and 3 strings up. Now, say if it's an A chord, you'll start from the A string and go 3 strings down, 3 strings up again. And if it's a D, it's the same thing, you start from the D string. Now, if you're playing a chord like an F chord, you start from the first string that's being held down on that chord. I figure it might be a little easier to show you with the with my right hand and my left hand on this part of the video. So anyway, as I was saying, you know, with the A, you start from the A string. Now, like I was saying before, if you start from, like, say, the F chord, which you're holding down all the strings, you're going to start from the first string of that chord, being that there is no F string on the guitar. The same thing with the C sharp chord. Alright, so you might want to practice this a little bit to get a feel for it, but that's basically how the thing goes. If it's an A chord, you start from the A string. If it's an E chord, you start from the E string. If it's a D chord, you start from the D string, and so on. But like I said, if it's a C sharp chord or if it's an F sharp chord, you're going to start from the top string of that chord. Alright, so you'll see me do some more of this stuff as we go further into the lesson. Alright, so let's start with the arpeggio on the A chord. That way you can get sort of a better feel for it watching me play it, hopefully. So you'll start with the A chord and the A string. You go to an E. F sharp. C sharp, D, A, and then back to E. And you'll play that twice. Okay, now after you play that twice, you're going to go to a G chord, which you'll play by putting your second finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, your first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and your 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the E string. And that'll sound like this. And like that, you do the arpeggio starting from the E string, because it's the first string played on the chord. Then from there you'll go to a D chord. Go back to a G chord. Play another D chord. Then you'll go to a C chord with your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B string. And you'll start that chord playing from the A string. And then from there you go back to the G chord. And back to the D chord, and you'll play that twice. And then you go back to the verse. Now after that you do a re-intro again, playing those first 4 chords that I showed you at the beginning of the song. And then you go right back into the verse again. That's basically the whole song. That's pretty much every part of the song you need to know how to play this song. Alright, so that's basically how you play Cryin by Aerosmith. Remember, I know it's going to be difficult, with this arpeggio stuff and everything. It's difficult to learn at first, but watch the video a few times and pause it and get a feel for how to do this certain type of strumming, and eventually you'll be able to get it, I'm sure. And if you have any questions, you can email me at onlineguitarguy.com at yahoo.com. And if you have recommendations for songs, I'd be happy to try to teach you a song you might want to learn how to play. And you can also look at my my website, onlineguitarguy.webs.com, and you'll find some other videos there to learn how to play other songs on there too. So that's it, and good luck playing Cryin by Aerosmith. Take care. Bye.